Alright, welcome back to a new episode of the greatest book club in the world, the AK Book Club, yeah! And today, guys, we're an extremely special episode, because today, guys, we're on episode number 297, guys. 297, which means it's in a 4 episode, including, or 3 episodes not including, we are going to reach to the 300 special episode, guys, which is, can you guess it, guys? Can you take a moment to appreciate the moment? The achievement, 400 episode, which is crazy, guys. 400 episode, 2 subscribers, 455 views, total views. Yeah. And then it. Determination, the dedication, the hard work that I'm putting in. 300 special episode. It's going to be lit, it's going to be light, it's going to be savage. So let's go. So guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're new to the channel, welcome back. My name is Zach, I'm the host. And I truly believe that English is the number one tool that teach one of us to master one order to be successful in life. And the second tool that is going to help us a lot is to know how to communicate well through the camera. And I think that if you take those two skills and you combine them together, you can create, and you combine them together, you can create great content to the internet, and you can influence billions of people all around the world. So I recommend to work on this stuff. Saying that, guys, I'm aware of the fact that sometimes it might be challenging to speak in English and to be in the camera from a lot of reasons. And my goal in this podcast is doing, and what I'm doing in this podcast is in boosting our confidence together, guys. And I struggle with this thing. I just think was about the little, like start why. While we are doing this, I truly believe that English is not a tool, and I know the fact that it's going to be challenging. And what we are doing with the podcast, guys, is being together. Is what I'm doing with this podcast, guys, is hoping to inspire the people to do the same, to work on in English and to work on appearance with the camera. And I'm doing so by showing you guys my own journey to become English masters, to master English, speaking and reading, and to be in the camera, to communicate on the camera. And I'm hoping that by showing you guys my own journey, my success, my failures, the obstacles that I'm facing, overcomes them, my growth over there. My special episode, I will inspire the people, yeah, like you, the lady and gentlemen that are watching this podcast right now, you, inspiring you to do the same, and also work on English and also share your message with the world, inspire the world, and make a difference because we're here. Because I can't emphasize enough how much is important in my eyes that you will share your message with the world, because you're unique, guys, and you have unique view on the world, and unique way, you have unique way of looking at the world and see the world, and there's only one of you, guys. In the future, only one of you. And it's only one of you. And just document it. And you see, I document myself. I document my process, my thought process, the journey. I just document it, guys. And I don't know, maybe nobody's going to watch it. Maybe billions of people are going to watch it. I just document for the documentation. So guys, just do it. Just work on stuff and inspire the world. Yeah, that's it. And today, guys, you see, behind me, we got God of War and his friend. And this told him, you have to speak in English. No, I want to speak in English. No, I want to speak in English. And I'm playing with each other, who is a better English speaker. And if you want to check him out and want to decide by your own who is the better English speaker, you know where you can find them. You know where you can find them on 3, 2, 1. You can find them on Good Fun. This is Grand account. Upload to Good Fun by now. Then Nimara on 4th July. 4th July is a celebration. I think it's the United States. Independence Day. And guys, of course, we like it. And it's downloaded 4th July 2015. Download already almost 9,000 times, guys. And guys, if you want to download the picture, just need to choose the resolution from here. Press download. Right click on the picture, go to Shmirat, תמונת בשם מיני בו, עושה picture as in English, and type down and comment where you want it in your language. Press on it. Choose the moment to save it on your computer. Press save and Kaban just like that, you will get this great background on your computer. And you see the photos that I in my background, and this it's a little bit different because you can use the PowerPoint we just double click on the picture and go to color. I don't know, you call it, I don't know, it's in English, it's Seva, and you can play with it. You see it changing? And you can do whatever you want. Yeah, this is also the episode. Yeah, background. You guys, thank you very much for the and thank you very much for the artist who made this background for sharing it fast. Guys, today, we are going to continue our journey with your next 5 moves, Patrick by David, and we are going to start a new chapter 14, which is going to be study mobsters. How to sell and negotiate and influence. Damn. I want to read it. And you know that I really like the book. I really learned a lot of it, and I really trying to implement the lessons that I learned from this book into my life. So guys, just if you want to check out the book or the background behind me, and if you want to check out Patrick by David, the social media accounts, and you know that I recommend to check them out because he shares so much knowledge in his podcast and his social media account. You got a link in the description below, so make sure to check them out and like them and learn from them and inspire life. Thanks to them. Of course, you're going to do it after the podcast. Yeah, I am looking really good. Guys, if anyone of you have any suggestion for me, I can put myself on the podcast, or if anyone of you want to come to the podcast, may be a guest on the podcast channel, so if you want to start or just make a difference because you want just have a great time in English, because I'm a really nice guy. Please let me know in the comment below so we can arrange it. And of course, guys, feel free to in the comment section below your own life lessons. If you maybe you learned something that I said, or from the books, and I quote from the books, or maybe you learn your own life lesson from your own that you saw someone else that you think it can enrich your life. So please feel free to do it to edit, to write it down in the comment below, so all of us can improve thanks to you guys. So thank you very much for doing so. And one last thing that before we move to the book, if you enjoy the book, if you enjoy the episode, if you learn something from the podcast, if you enjoy the process, if you got inspired by the book club, please consider to subscribe to the channel, put notification bell on each time the extremely exciting episode coming to YouTube, and you know it's going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. You know that special episode is coming in 3 days, so we definitely want to see it, to watch it as it's turned out, as the episode released on YouTube. So you definitely want to click the notification bell, and we're going to block the internet, and it's going to crash. So you want to make sure that you're going to be the first one that's going to get it, because everyone is going to watch it and it's going to be shut down. It is what it is when you are on the greatest podcaster in the world. Yeah, it is what it is. Of course, guys, and like the video and share with your friends, guys. It's really 1 to 3, 4 clicks from your side, and you have really big impact on me. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you can consider to do it, and shout out to my 2 subscribers and my 255 total views out of 284 episodes that released until now. On 8 p.m. I released on 8 p.m. Israel time, Israel watch. I'm going to release the new episode. So guys, before the introduction, let's just dive right into the book. So your next 5 moves, Patrick by David, chapter 14. Study mobsters, how to sell, negotiate, and influence. By Patrick by David, page 214 to 218. Read by the myth, the legend, the vulnerable is the man himself. Give Mr. John, please. Give Mr. John, please. Give Mr. John, please. So boy, yeah. Let's go. That's me. So let's go. Study mobsters. How to sell, negotiate, and influence. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Marlon Brando as Don Vito Corleone in The Godfather. You have read the title of the chapter, and you have read the title of this chapter, and you're thinking that I've taken leave of my sense, right? But hear me out. In a way, mobsters are the ultimate entrepreneurs. They are willing to take big risks for big rewards. And the most successful among them are brilliant at negotiating. They have to think on their feet, and they have to make the right decisions. and they have to make the right decisions quickly. At the same time, that lots of information is coming to them. It's coming to them. Let me be clear. I'm not suggesting that you run your business in unethical or criminal ways. It's good. I want to say that. I shouldn't have to state the obvious, but I will anyway. I'm against murder, extortion, and drug dealing. I'm against breaking the law. I'm against breaking the law, but I'm all for breaking rules. There is a big difference between the two. To disrupt a market or to tap into a market that is extremely competitive, a founder has to be comfortable breaking the rules. This chapter is not an endorsement of bad guys. It's about learning from what they do well. Yeah, I don't know how much it's. I think it's kind of he has a point, but Patrick David has a point, but I think it's a little bit of a clickbait. I think. Right. In September 2012, I asked everyone in my company to read the 48 Laws of Powers by Robert Greene. Great book. By Robert Greene. The goal was not to become manipulative or learn how to play games. The goal was to understand those laws so they couldn't be used against us. At every stage of our growth, others have used every dirty trick in the book to try to take us down. We needed to better understand how such people think in order to combat their tactics. That's right. There is a reason why so many CEOs and leaders consider The Godfather Part 1 and 2 more education than entertainment. Every struggle a CEO or a founder will experience occurs in those movies. Betrayal, loss, recruiting, negotiating, working with family, stealing money, having to get rid of someone with loose lips, and having success to get the red arm, and having success to get the red arm, things mobsters deal with and you as well. Deal with and you as well. It's why I've interviewed so many mobsters for my YouTube channel. Guys such as Sammy Zabul, Gravano, Frank Colota, Ralph Nathaniel, and Donny Brasco himself. Joe Piston. You may think you are in a competitive field, but consider the fact that mobsters have competitors who literally kill to win. You screw up, you lose your business. They screw up, they lose their lives. Most mobsters aren't operating under any illusions. They know exactly what they are getting into. Networking, negotiating, and selling are power moves that will have a massive impact on your bottom line, on your bottom line. Mobsters are masters at recruiting because they know how to sell the dream of the benefits of joining their team. The ability to attract, influence, and convince people from all walks of life is a special talent every entrepreneur needs. I found that former mob members are some of the best teachers because the stakes are so high, often life and death. They are expert at communication, preparation, and reading other people. They are also masters of psychologists and negotiators. Those are skills that can be learned by anyone. Studying mobsters is a great place to start. Let's see how. Title: A madman knows how to prepare. Michael Franzi was reputedly one of the highest money-making Carporegime captain, not boss, in the history of organized crime. Michael walked away from the life and left his criminal past behind, and left his criminal past behind. Still, he's been compared to the Fictional Michael Corleone character in the Godfather movies for good reason. Both Michaels show the ability to process information with lightning quick speed and thrive in stressful situations. Years ago, when Michael was still working for the mob, he was summoned for a meeting with his boss in Brooklyn. He recalled that the short walk from the car. He recalled that the short walk, that the short walk from the car to the apartment was the longest walk he had ever taken. His boss confronted him with the rumor that Michael had stolen $2 billion from the government. Damn. It wasn't that the mobsters cared about the rumors that he had taken money from the government. They just cared that if it went wrong, they would get their cut. It was a life or death situation. Michael knew that when he walked into the room. Michael knew that when he walked into the room, he might not walk out of he might not walk out of it. He might not walk out if the boss thought he was beholding a tribute. Because the stakes of a meeting like this were life and death, Michael was obsessive about preparation. He's not big on a list, but I am. Here are 7 things you must do before any meeting. Title: 7 essential steps to prepare for a meeting. I want to know what happened. 1. Consider the other party's needs, desires, and frustrations. Remember that what motivates most people is fear, greed, and saving face. 2. Anticipate what the other party will say. 3. Develop a script and slash outline for what you want to say. 4. Role-play the meeting several times in order to be prepared for different reactions. 5. Ask trusted advisors to point out your blind spots. 6. Put yourself into the best possible frame of mind before the meeting. And 7. Build a reputation for over-delivering on your product. 7. Build a reputation of over-delivering on your product. Because he had prepared well, Michael didn't cover on quick. He didn't explode. Instead, he addressed the accusation head-on. When the media write about someone else, other mobsters, it's a lie. When they write about me, all of a sudden it's the truth. Is the truth. I'm giving you guys all this money, $2 billion. I'm giving you guys all this money, $2 million weekly, $2 million weekly. You don't have to do anything. I'm taking care of everything. If anybody goes down, it's me and my crew. What is going on here? Michael showed some emotion. It was all part of his plan. During his preparation, he had decided that the best plan of action would be to set his adversary back on his heels. Even a seasoned mobster like Michael has emotions. And there is no doubt that he was upset. He was processing the situation. And he told himself that he would have to watch what he said and did. He remained respectful of his boss. He remained respectful of his boss. Of course, he could kill you. Of course, you respect him. Once Michael threw his opening punch, he sat back and listened. He sat back and listened. He learned that the whole situation was a result of his father, John Sonny Francis, throwing him under the bus. Michael's father thought it was possible that Michael was making more money than he was disclosing that was Michael. Michael's father thought it was possible that Michael was making more money than he was disclosing. And this meeting was designed to determine the truth. Imagine you're in a life and death meeting and you have just learned that a family member, close friend, or a business partner has sold you out. You would probably be sitting, C-S-E-E-T-H-I-N-G, submerged in all that emotion would be your ability to think and process. How can you think about solutions and survival when all you can think about is revenge? Even though he was owned by his father's actions, Michael proceeded the situation like a master. Michael proceeded the situation like a master. He reminded Colm in front of the boss and told him he would take care of the issue. He even thanked his boss for bringing the issue to his attention. He could not have done so. He could not have done so had he not rehearsed every minute of the meeting beforehand. Once the meeting was complete, Michael had to process the impact of his father's selling games of his process. Once the meeting was complete, Michael had to process the impact of his father's selling him out. He knew not to talk to his father until he had worked through those issues on his own. After much thought, Michael came to terms with his father's actions. He knew that the life could separate a father and son. He refused to let that happen. He never mentioned the incident to his father. He told himself, in that life, you learn to keep things quiet until the right time. But it really put me on a notice that I've got to be careful. That I've got to be careful. I was very disappointed in him, but it didn't change my love for him. Great processors take responsibility for their actions and redirect their frustration to learning and creating new patterns. When Michael reflected on what his dad has done, he said, "I almost thank him for it now. I met my wife 2 years after this incident, and that is when I made the decision to walk away. I think that that was God's way of separating me from this bond or hold that my dad had on me, or from this bond or hold that my dad had on me." Problem solving isn't easy. In the heat of the moment, Michael had to defend himself credibly, but at the same time not appear defensive. A lot of thoughts must have been swirling in his brain, but he proceeded them under pressure and came up with the right solution. The real brilliance was in what was not seen. His obsessive preparation. Title: The Art of the Sit Down. Preparing for a high stakes meeting. The 5 big mafia families relied on a business resolution method called the sit down. In ways, it was similar to what goes on in business. In ways, it was similar to what goes on in business, where the top people get together in the boardroom to discuss important matters. In Michael's world, though, the meeting place was often the back room of an Italian restaurant. I had to sit down recently in the same in Iceland with the senior executives of one of the world's largest insurance companies. The CEO was in the room, as were 2 other senior vice presidents. My purpose in being there was to request an increase in my company's compensation. The stakes were high. The worst possible scenario was that they would be so offended by my demand that they would drop my account. That would have been catastrophic for my business. Another bad scenario would be if they refused to give me an increase. If that happened, I risked losing many of my agents because I simply wouldn't have enough revenue to pay them as much as my competitors did. It was a tough request, to a tough audience, it's a tough time in my business. Those are the types of meetings that can break you emotionally if you lack the tools to process and prepare for them. Therefore, I follow the first rule of therefore. I followed the first rule of sit downs. Do not attend a meeting unprepared. Again, do not attend a meeting unprepared. This is always the case. I use the 7 essential steps to prepare for a meeting, to guide my preparation. Like any grandmaster, I was planning many moves ahead. Like any grandmaster, I was planning many moves ahead. 1. Consider the other party's needs, desires, and frustrations. Remember that what motivates most people is fear, greed, and saving face. Before the meeting, I had assessed what the executives' frustrations were and who brought the most business for their company, as well as some companies standing with them. I did my homework and found out that in 2 years, we had skyrocketed from a small player to the firm that brought the second highest number of policies of all the companies with which they dealt. In the 7 habits of highly effective people. Yeah, you read it. You got the whole series of the book. So go watch it after we finish this series. In the 7 habits of highly, so go watch the episode when you're waiting for the next episode of the IQ Book Club to get released. In the 7 habits of highly effective people, Stephen Covey said, seek first to understood, then to be understood. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. You remember that? What it meant for me was getting out of my own head and walking in their shoes to see the situation from their perspective. I played on fear. Losing my account would have meant their companies losing millions of dollars in revenue. I played on greed. Keeping my account would potentially bring in even more millions of dollars of revenue and 7-figure bonds for the executives. They lot of money. I played on helping them save face. They would look really foolish if I left for a competitor. And guys, you know what? This is the end of the episode. You guys, thank you very much for joining me. I really put in fact that you used to invest some time here. And I can't wait to see you all on tomorrow's episode of the greatest book club in the world, the AK Book Club. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of yourself. Have a great time and bye-bye. Right, today is Wednesday, 2nd on February 2022, and time now is 18:02. This is the 3rd episode that we are recording today, and now I'm going to read the 4th. We are going to record the 4th episode. The episode that now will be back on schedule, and now I need to record the episode actually today, because as I told you, I learned in the past days for the exams, so I didn't record an episode, but I keep reading in not recording, but as the episode to record, so we are scheduled. Now I'm going to read what happened in the meeting. It's really good to catch up, guys, and we are really getting close. We are getting really close to finish the book. Guys, we are on page 219, and we have 262, so it's 14 episodes, 40 pages, including all the stuff that we are not going to read. 40 divided by 5, it's 8 episodes. Damn, in 8 episodes. It's gonna be it. In 8 episodes, we're going to finish the book. Now, on 8 episode, guys, yeah, we're going to have a special episode of finishing the book, guys. 8-9 episodes. So yeah, that's what's up. So guys, we can let's go. And I think that I know what is going to be the next book, guys. I'm not going to tell you. על היום רביעי, 2/2/2022, שעכשיו היא 6:03, אז סיימתי להקליט את הפרק השלישי. ובסיס וגם שיש לתרום ב9, אז בדיוק בזמנים שתכננתי, אמרתי אם הייתי מקליט לבד. מסיים ב7, 8 שהייתי יוצא, הייתי מגיע מאוחר, ובשביל גם לעשות ב9 עם טראמפ עד הבית, כאילו עד בת שמש, ושם אוטובוס שאמא תאסוף אותי. ובכל מקרה, יאללה, זהו, חברים. הולך להיות ממש טוב. סיימנו את המבחנים היום, אפשר לעשות מועד ב' בתקשורת המונים, אני מדבר עם עומד, באתי עם עומד שאני אלמד איתה. אני הולך לעשות את זה, אני אחזור לאריאל, או שאני אלמד איתה. יאללה, ניתן בראש, חבר'ה. כמו שצריך. או לפחות יעמד הרבה לחץ, זה מה שחשוב לי. יאללה. להתראות.